The past 2 weeks saw massive coverage over the passing and the subsequent burial of Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. And fresh into this week, news gatherers have been very busy with breaking stories, or rather breaking story after breaking story. Now, political analyst Ralph Mathekga is with us to both wrap up the week's events for us and also look ahead to what we can expect next week. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning, Palisa. Good morning to our viewers.
Most importantly, I think we should just kick off with one of the stories that's leading today, the situation at the Northwest Province. We're getting reports this morning that some buildings have burned overnight. Let's just look at the core problems in that particular province. The residents saying that it's due to lack of service delivery. We had the Premier here on Morning Live yesterday was basically saying this is politically motivated. ANC members working with some EFF members.
Well, no doubt about it, about the political motivation behind this, but the reality of service delivery is there. I do think that this has been sparked by the concern of service delivery. But as it always the case with most of the protests, it might start with concrete issues around basic delivery. By the end the protest comes to an end, they're already demanding resignation of a leader. They're demanding that the Premier Suprema Umapelu vacate his position. But even more interestingly is that there are some whom, as I was listening to SAFM coming here, there are some who are demanding actually that it's not just against Suprema Umapelu, it is about the ANC in Northwest. There is this, I would say, coalescence when it comes to some who want the entire party out in Northwest and those who are concerned about specifics of service delivery. It's always the case, but it points to possibility of political realignment in Northwest. There is no doubt in my mind that Suprema Umapelu is under siege, possible investigation that is likely to face in the Northwest relating to corruption and his relationship with the Gupta family. But most importantly also is that he no longer has the national leadership that will support him. The current national leadership of the ANC is known to have taken a position against corruption. Yeah. So it's going to be very difficult for them to come through for him, particularly when the communities are saying that, look, we've had enough of this. You can't keep on imposing him upon us.
Yeah, the ANC's National Working Committee has been in that province, and now we've also learned that President Cyril Ramaphosa has actually cut short his trip to the United Kingdom to go and address the meeting there in that province. And many people are applauding him for doing that.
Exactly. It shows that the issue has been escalated. I mean, for the president to have to leave the head of state of Commonwealth meetings in London and come in this side to have to come back and deal with this, it shows that it is actually a very serious issue. Yeah. And I think that what will be more importantly is how the ANC deals with this. Which solution will be acceptable? If the ANC try to, avoid what the communities are saying by saying you can't impose someone that we believe, as the communities are saying, we believe is corrupt. At the same time, the ANC has to be seen avoiding to be acting in the interest of other opposition parties as they want Umapelu gone. So it is about the delicate balance that the party has to demonstrate here in Northwest.
What do you think will happen?
I don't think that it will be easy to get rid of him immediately. Politically, it is not a good idea to get rid of him. He's facing those charges, and the reality is that if the party pushes him out, he's already driving the perception that he's being patched because of the support for Dlamini Zuma in the elective conference. Yeah. So if they get rid of him under these circumstances, he will go straight to KwaZulu-Natal to be part of the mutiny that I think is building in KwaZulu-Natal. You don't want a situation where KwaZulu-Natal becomes a place where all those who are unhappy with the national leadership find traction, their politics find traction there. It could destabilize the national leadership of the ANC.
So it's going to be a very difficult one for the ANC.
They will have to manage it. They can't get rid of him immediately. They'll have to manage the communities and maybe come up with a strategy as to how to deal with it in the long term. Remember, they're supposed to be going into elections instead of dealing with this internal matter.
True, true. Now, let's just move a little bit out of the Northwest and focus on one important aspect, the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting that we made mention of. President Cyril Ramaphosa announcing the 4-line investment and, of course, his subsequent trip to the United Kingdom. What do you make? What are your thoughts on that?
At this point, whenever the president leaves and he's talking about wooing investors, I usually look at the confidence aspect of it, that the problem that we have in South Africa with our economy is the crisis of confidence. So what you need to do is for the new leadership to go and say to people that we will stick to laws, we will stick to fiscal austerity, we will stabilize our economy, come and invest in us. It's just to revitalize that confidence into our economy. And I do think that people have been expecting to get a clear sense as to which direction South Africa is going. The national leadership, are they still interested in retaining in that investment, or are they going to go with your radical policies that are usually, they spook foreign investors? So I do think the message is coming out very clear. That confidence is setting in, and I think as time goes by, we might see much renewed interest from your global finance community to say that, look, we maybe need to rethink and go back and look as to the prospects in South Africa. I think I see that as an intention to try to arrive at that.
And some people saying that the $100 billion target that the president has set for the next 5 years is too ambitious.
Well, if somebody is willing to say, of that 100 billion, I can throw in 10 billion. It works in that way of confidence.
We've seen the meeting
it will
with
encourage
Theresa
others.
May as well, the meeting that the president had with Theresa May, where she actually pledged to support South Africa. Yes.
That itself will help this player to carry a lot of weight, because it says to others as well, some within the private sector, to say that if the government of Britain feels that way, it means other companies operating in that country can therefore feel secure to invest their money in South Africa. It's all about dispelling the notion that has been set in South Africa the past decade that say that South Africa seems not to be serious about foreign direct investment.
Yeah. And the movement of Arthur Fraser from his position in the State Security Agency to the Justice and Correctional Service Department, what can we make of this move? What do you think is the president's thinking be behind this?
He's also trying to manage it. I mean, why is it that when a senior accounting officer, director general, is not doing well in one department, get moved to another? It says that correctional service is less important. And I do think actually correctional service is actually having serious problems now. You need serious people there. Look at the breakout, the breaking from the jails that we have seen the last few weeks or so. So it actually says that there is always a parking space for some of the senior accounting officers who find themselves in trouble. Although the positive move is that at least there will be a proper investigation of the abuses or allegations of abuse at state security. Now that we have removed the accounting officer, you are clearing the air that the Inspector General of Intelligence can get the work done in reviewing some of those allegations.
A quick one, we have to wrap. But the Economic Freedom Fighters, CIC, there were reports that there's a plot to assassinate him. What do you make of that quickly?
It's quite a concern. I think it should be investigated so that at least the allegations are out. We can clear facts from allegation. We are a democracy. We can't be discussing getting rid of people as a way to solve political problems.
All right. And
we shouldn't deal with that.
AfriForum's announcement yesterday that they intend to prosecute him privately.
A great gift to the EFF going into the elections, but also most importantly, this thing raises serious credibility with AfriForum's private prosecution maneuver. It actually says that they might be interested in forming some parallel legal system. It raises credibility
not
issues.
Happy with that decision as well.
Indeed.
But Ralph, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much to Ralph Mathekga, political analyst, unpacking the week's news events and what happened this week that you feel defined the news cycle. Let us know it. Morning Live SABC, it's our Twitter handle. Let's take a quick ad break here on Morning Live. When we come back, we go to the Northwest Province.